end the broadcast. That means we are on. Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are we in? Yes, our mic is on.
Oh yes. Let me get this.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Alright, cool.
Greetings,
Greetings,
family, and welcome to Kimbunga Media. We are Stella B and
Medai, the lyrical alchemist. We are the power couple. We are
Out of Noise
podcast.
And we're here for Revolutionary Mind.
That's right. Another month, another Revolutionary Mind. Who we've been studying, Stella B?
The infamous, the great, the powerful Queen Mother that is Yaa Asantewaa.
Yeah, so for those that don't know, every single month, a group of us spoken word artists, there's rappers as well in the thing, but yeah, spoken word artists, majority, it's a spoken word project. It was the brainchild of Nate the lyricist, who's going to join us as per usual, is going to join us very shortly. And essentially we study a Pan-African great from either the motherland or the diaspora, and then we turn our research into spoken word poetry that we perform at Auntie G's African Culture Market. So to supplement that, we have this show on Kimbunga Media.
Yes.
To reason about our study of the Pan-African great, aka the revolutionary mind.
That's right. So we're gathered here today to see what did we find out about Yaa Asantewaa, the Queen Mother, who came from the region of Ghana and defeated the British in terms of the War of the Golden Stool, which is the most famous story associated with this great Queen Mother. We looked into the Asante as well. That's the correct pronunciation of Ashanti. And we're not just talking about a pop star called Ashanti. Okay, sorry about that. That was terrible. We looked into that history there as well, which was so deep and intricate and multifaceted and layered, but very important to know because it gives you a true sense in terms of Africa's long and vast history from all sides of the continent, so from north, south, east and west. There's so much history there. So we can kick off, but let's start off just talking a little bit about some of the coincidences and the mystical occurrences that has happened leading up to today. And we can tell everyone about, just how our ancestors are really directing this whole mission that we're on to bring to the forefront all of these important figures and help inspire people to use poetry to learn and to share what they've learned as well. So, yeah, do you want to talk about the mystical side of those things and then how it's tied in with this particular person as well?
Well, as said earlier, basically, we have been studying the greats, the Pan-African greats. Those are our ancestors. And therefore, when we, when you understand yourself as an African, you show great regard and respect for those that came before you, because if it weren't for them, we wouldn't be here today. So we respect, we show great respect, and especially those that gave their lives, we show respect for them. So this is why we're calling them. But on our day-to-day lives, when it's not really, we're not consciously thinking about them, we find them just turn up in different places, or there's confirmations that we're on the right path. So for example, and it's something that was just not connected. So for example, we went to an event, we didn't go to an event, we hosted an event. It was a great event. It was the last day of Black History Month, Halloween, and I was glad to see a lot of Black people turn up. Big up to Kala and 472 Studios. 472 Studios. Big up to them. And the other team as well that put that together. So we were hosting that event, and then these were creatives that were Black creatives that we were hosting to. So people who do graphic design, marketing, brand, etc., etc., etc. And basically, hey, Blue Lotus in the building.
Hey, you sound a bit
Hey,
wet. Hey guys, keep talking a second.
Mic check.
mic check. Are
Oh,
you?
all good.
Your mic? Yeah,
Say again.
your mic is on for the main one.
Uh, I believe so. Yeah, all good.
Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
Hi
Well,
guys. Mwah.
mwah, mwah, mwah. Good to see you.
Likewise.
The logo is right on your face. I wonder if we can
Oh,
change it.
and to be fair, it's giving me a preview. Let me just see something. This is better.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the first time using this new streaming
I
thing.
know.
It's like going on here.
I know.
Yeah, that's much better. 'Cause there was like a little side thing where you can see. Oh, you can. Yeah, the mic was crackling. Yeah, thanks, Kerry TK5. That was happening. The mic was crackling when I first joined, so I was like, "Keep talking, guys." It sounded a bit weird, but all is well now. All is
All
well.
is
All
well.
is well.
All is well.
Fantastico. So Nat was just talking about the mystical element of this whole Revolutionary Mars project. There's different things that seem to just happen, which is all brought about by the ancestors. So
Mm-hmm.
going into the story of what happened with the person that we met.
Yeah, no, okay, basically, yeah, long story short, we basically were hosting an event. It was the other side of the creative industry. So we artists, right? But the other side is like graphic designers, the PR people, marketers, all them people, all those creatives that are not actually artists. Like
Mm.
hosting that type of event, Black people, it was great, it was wonderful. And then we just got into conversation with this Ghanaian couple, Asante couple, and so they were saying, "Oh yeah, we're studying Yaa Asantewaa. They were like, we got a perfect person for you to chat to," and we were like, "Who?" And they were like, "We're thinking about the same person, right?" And like, yeah, his so the brother we were chatting to, their husband and wife, and it was the brother, his mother is a royal, and
Asante Royal.
she's a Sante royal,
As she
and
put it, I'm pure Asante.
pure both sides.
Uh-huh.
She's connected to, like, knows, growing up with the direct lineage of Yaa Asantewaa. So
Amazing. Every time this is
great,
something that happens, you know.
every time.
Yeah,
It's how you know this is just divine, you know. Real talk.
and look how Dean got honoured the other day from, and did
Yeah.
you see who was standing next to
It was Sante.
Who was standing next to her?
Auntie Jean? The two people that were standing next to
Oh
her.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
yeah.
yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot.
And we were reasoning, basically, yeah, we were reasoning on this. And you said something about, like, how we've been kind of chosen on this path. So Auntie Jean been referred to us as griots, and Garvey village griots and such and such. And it's like you were saying about us being chosen on this, like by the
yeah. Like
ancestors.
basically, there's something in you that speaks to I was really want to study this. I really want to go into this history, and I really want to dig deep.
Mm, mm.
Whereas the average person would just be maybe not even intrigued by it or moved, but
Always motivated. Yeah.
we're really kind of
Mm,
coming together really organically. But it's definitely things that are work to make it happen.
mm.
Yeah. So also, I wanted to let people know there's the Wallace collection. You can check out some Asante gold. It's the Wallace collection, which is based in Manchester Road, West London, Central London, West Central London, and yeah, they have a whole collection of the Asante stuff. Obviously, this is loitering at its finest.
Could you
Piracy at
in
its
the chat and pin it so that people can find the details,
yes.
even if we're live?
I will
Yeah.
careful it doesn't rocket. But yeah, the Wallace collection. So we wanted to go check it out ourselves today, but we didn't get out. So we're going to do it tomorrow morning at some.
Okay.
But the stuff that they've stolen, it's really just it would be amazing to actually get a sense of this Dante energy, that warriors. Some of them, some of the knives are there. There's machetes there, gold, and then the jewelry and stuff. Some masks, some gilded masks, just really dope stuff. So yeah, so that was
That's amazing. Hopefully, I get time to make it. I'm going to what do you call it, baby shower tomorrow. If I'm organised, I might be able to make it beforehand.
yeah. No, it's open. It's like it's open, so it's
Yeah, but
not.
ideally, I would like to go before Sunday. Ideally,
Oh, okay, got you.
you
Yeah,
know, get that last little bit of energy,
yeah,
last
shoot.
bit of inspiration. I might want to add two more lines to the poem as a result. You never know. We'll see how it goes in there. If it's meant to be, it
If
will
not,
happen.
I'll send you this thing, which is a PDF of all the images anyway.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
I'll do
Give,
that now.
give
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, it's something because just seeing it myself was just like raw.
Mm.
So yeah,
Even now, when you see them just wearing all the gold, all the drip, and it's just like,
Did you see
mm.
that documentary with Idris?
Yes, I did. When it first came out, I made sure I watched that. Yeah, very interesting. I kind of feel like it didn't go in depth enough though.
it didn't.
Yeah, I felt like I had a salad instead of a meal, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was still interesting to watch.
Yeah,
For
good
sure.
analogy.
That's a good
Actually,
analogy. Yeah,
yeah,
really, really.
lettuce. We got lettuce. We got some like cherry tomatoes. The cherry
Mm,
tomatoes aspect was good, and that was seen.
ooh,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but then it was just started stops.
but yeah, it was that.
Yeah,
And you're like, "Bro, can I get a full vegan meal, please?"
yeah.
This is turning up to a family event, and you just get the salad. It's true,
yeah.
but it's to be expected. It's to be expected. Because with these
And
type,
to be fair, for people who are even just like getting a little spark of interest into this kind of thing, that will be for them. That will be a meal, innit? You know what I mean? So sometimes it's so it depends on the audience they're targeting. It's got sometimes bite size is necessary to kind of pique interest, and that will kind of make people want to go on their own journey to kind of dig deeper themselves.
yeah,
So it depends on what the audience is for, innit? So it delivered what it needs to deliver, and we're talking about it today. So
it
That's
did.
true.
It did. It's
can't
true.
breathe in the head. We're like, oh, let me go check it out because it was actually a very good documentary, and it was, did a really good job presenting it.
Very true, actually. Because yeah, you did show. It did show gold on Africans.
Yeah, exactly. Which
Yeah,
people don't associate gold with, and it's the other.
They associate with Indians a lot, isn't it?
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's so fascinating. Because speaking of which, there's this dance that they do.
the Ajawa dance.
It's
Ajawa dance.
yeah, and it's really like intricate, and it's so like, but it actually does actually remind me of the Indian or
Yeah,
Hindu culture as well. There's a similarity in the
yeah,
way they present the dance as
yeah.
well.
The hand and the feet movement. Yeah,
Back at
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love the history behind it as well. That they train the women from their little girls to be able
Mm.
to do the dance, and it's just it's nice.
It's
Nice.
so cute. I've seen them.
Yeah.
Their short hair and they're just doing the
Mhm.
little gestures and stuff like that.
Yeah. Very elegant. Yeah.
I wonder if people teach it in here, this country. I'd actually go for a class.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, uh, um, we're seeking, yeah, an African equivalent chant of that Maori thing.
Ah, ha, yeah. I mean, there probably is something out there. It's just we just haven't. It just it hasn't gone viral, basically. But it exists.
We need it.
It exists.
um,
Shaka Zulu. I'm sure Shaka Zulu had one.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
what Shakara
yeah,
said. He said there's probably a Zulu one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, we
yeah.
need to learn it. Everyone needs to learn it off by heart.
Any Zulus on the live? Any Zulus tuned in? holler at us. Let us know if there are any, because some of you guys are
need
the
a
best
watch
in the
on.
world as well. You know that this thing is gonna be top tier. Then vocal cords are different kind of levels of vocal cords. So yeah, if you got a song for us that is gonna rival the Maori chant, kind of be our Pan African anthem for reparations, let us know.
Yeah, man, we
It's
need
time.
it.
We
It's
need it.
time. It's not just everyday. What's it? Redemption song. Yeah, that's one. But we need a war drum. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, that's gone
Like,
viral so much. I mean, it's really, I can't stop watching it, to be honest.
same. It's doing something to me.
Yeah, man.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So Nate is about to join us, I suppose, like roughly, right? But yeah.
So
Yaa
yeah.
Asantewaa
Okay.
is
So did
the
you mention who we?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
So I was mentioning her. I said that we met her.
Okay.
Yeah. So
just I can talk a little bit about what she talked about.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we spoke with Giles's mum. She's a teacher in Haringey School, in a school that her and her husband have created actually, and she's very passionate about African studies. When we spoke to her, you could tell that really gets her going. She was asking us where we're from. Nat was given his usual answer of claiming the continent, and she was like, "No, you must claim your actual location. That's where you start from." And she's gone through a lot this year, losing her her grandfather, and her father. Sorry, and she was explaining a little bit about the process of burial in for the Asante and how that has to be even chosen or decided by the king when that would take place. And there's Asante de what's it called? Asante Dai. It's like a ceremony that takes place every 49 days or so, where they celebrate, just the culture of Asante, which means people of the warrior people. And so she was explaining that the strength of the Asante, they're make up 60% of the population is Asante, and the Akan is the language, which is the overview,
Mm-hmm.
and that includes all the different groups within it. They speak a branch of Akan language. And what else did she say? She said a lot. We spoke for over an hour. But basically, the long and short of it is that the Asante are quite feared or renowned or known because of that warrior history and past. There's complications today in terms of all the different groups and the interruption when it came to colonizing, being colonized. They were never colonized, is how they say it. They say they were never colonized.
Okay.
The Asante say they were never colonized as such.
Okay. Yeah, because technically they were made as a protectorate, weren't they? As opposed to being made into a British colony. So
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Whereas the people on the coast, they say, gave in to the
Yeah.
British way.
Yeah. They even betrayed the Ashanti, but they already had beef from before, innit?
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
capitalized on that. So yeah.
So what's been happening is some of the since the time of Kwame Nkrumah, they believe that they were infiltrated. So some people, to put someone in a position of power, they infiltrated and put a puppet there. Basically, that wasn't an actual bloodline. So yeah, that's where there's extra kind of conflict nowadays to do with different.
See.
So just explain a little bit about that. I don't want to go to because I don't know who's beefing who or whatever. But your question, she will look into it. She's going to answer it and then send.
Oh, about the museum.
Yeah.
Okay, and to be fair, the information I got about that was 3 years old, so it may have already been restored. So I would like to find out. And for the people watching, I raised a question to about there's a Yaa Asantewaa museum in Ghana. It's been around for a long time, but it had been burnt down. It was a victim of an arson attack because of some disputes. between Yaa Asantewa's descendants and can't remember who the other party was, but obviously the people that were involved in, I think, some other parts of the royal family or some people in power. I'm not sure who was responsible for the arson attack because I was kind of doing multitasking when I came across this information. And it took a while, 3 years on. Well, that video was 3 years old when I saw the information, and it had been sitting in ruins for a long time at that point.
Okay.
And there were plans to restore it because it would, help bring tourism into Ghana. It could bring such and such millions. It would do this for the region, that for the region. So there was definitely an intention to restore it, but there was some obstacles in doing so around finance and other things. So it may or may not have happened. I don't know, but I would love to find out.
Okay.
And why it was burnt down in the first place and by who.
Yeah. Oh, well, one interesting story. Okay, welcome, brother.
Yeah, big up Nate.
Nate first.
Yeah. Big up Nate.
Peace, guys. Yo, what's good? Hello. I feel like I've missed some tea. I feel like I've missed some juiciness already.
Well, no, we're just talking, just kind of leading up to you coming. We're just kind of talking about the mystical way that this works and how we met a family, or someone who knows her family.
That's what I'm saying. You met her, yeah, and you were sharing some of the gems that she dropped.
Yes.
Yeah. So the one last thing I wanted
That's the
to
tea.
was this is the juicy bit. So basically, how the store was found was a really interesting story. Basically, they were doing building, the roads, and these two locals found the store in the forest. So the forests are very vast there, and she did say that Yaa Asantewaa, when she was on the front lines, she never actually fought on the front lines like that. She wasn't actually on the battlefield. She was just in a location and telling people what to do strategically, where to go next, and all of that. So she didn't actually fight physically. She did make her way through the forest by herself, and she did know the forest land very well, the landscape very well. The only reason why she kind of got taken in or captured and
why she surrendered
was because there was a snitch, and there was someone who sort of said, "Oh, your daughter's been caught. Your daughter, her only daughter, had been taken," which wasn't actually true in the end. But because of that, she put herself. She surrendered to go to the British or whatever to get her daughter back. But yeah, coming back to these times when the store was found again, these two men saw the stall, but rather than do the thing you're supposed to do, which is take it to a priest or elder, they took it and they put their hands on it.
They vandalized it, right?
They vandalized it. They actually took two bells. So the stall is made from the gods, right?
Yeah.
Osei Tutu conjured, or the priest of
When
Osei
was the school lost? I didn't realize that it had been lost in the first place for someone to find it.
Well,
it was hidden, right? On purpose.
It was hidden by our Santewa's people. They hid it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they pretended to give us a stall to the British. The British took that stall to England, in a 6 months journey or whatever on the seas. Took the fake one, and they discovered it was a fake one, but it was too late by then because, 6 months on, it's like, or however long the travel is to get to England from Africa. Like, hey, it's not the real stall. Don't. So they've been spending time looking and looking and looking, but they never ever found it. But the people that found it, the locals, they ended up being going through a whole bunch of turmoil because they vandalized it. They touched it. No human hand is supposed to touch this stall.
Apparently, the people who were responsible for vandalizing the store were put to death.
Yeah, that's what she was. She didn't say they were put to death. She just said that a whole bunch of things happened to them.
Okay, I got to death
from the ancestors, like almost like a punishment.
Okay.
Kind of like, the Egyptian curse.
Yeah. I
read
they were put to death. They were punished and put to death. That's the version I got, but that one's way more interesting. Booby trap school, I love it.
Well, yeah, and she said because they said they didn't know what happened to the bells. They didn't know what happened to the bells, but yeah, basically because all this stuff was happening to them, and
Mm,
were shunning them and all that, and different things were mystically happening to them, and they brought them.
mm, okay.
But yeah, so that was an interesting story. Outside of that, did she say much? She did. She said a lot.
Yeah, so a lot. Basically, and I guess we can just now like
Go into
we can go into it and just, do our free flow. But basically, I think before we get to Yar, is what was good from Auntie was or Lydia. Lydia is her name. Auntie Lydia.
Lydia
Yeah.
Hall.
Like what was good is that she gave us a insight into how the Asante are. Like they're warrior people, and their setup is like they have black stools that represent royal lineage, and the golden stool is for the one, the King of Kings, essentially. So you have several kings, and then you have the King of King, and then also their makeup is matrilineal.
Yeah.
So you can only be a king through the mother. Therefore, you have the Queen Mother. Yaa Asantewaa was the Queen Mother.
Left. She was the only one left.
She was the only one
because
left.
they took all of the kings.
They took all of the kings, and wasn't it her son that was the king?
No, her grandson.
Her grandson was the king.
It's her grandson.
Was it grandson?
I think it was her grandson, yeah.
Their grandson.
Grandson, okay.
I can't really remember.
It's their grandson.
Yeah, so he was. So yeah, she was. Anyway, she was the queen. How was it? How did that happen?
Okay.
Yeah, just thinking. What is it? Because her daughter was her. How is she queen mother of the grandson? What happened to her children?
She had a
She
daughter.
had one daughter, right?
She had a daughter.
And the daughter. So was the daughter the only child?
The
I believe
daughter
so.
had many children. I think it was the daughter that had many children, and the king was one of her many children.
Did anybody come across this? Nate.
Me.
Yes. Okay, so the daughter. She had one child.
I did.
She had one daughter, for
There's one
sure.
daughter.
Yeah, so no sons.
I don't think she had a son. No, I think she
Because
had
that's not
one
establishing.
daughter, and that
Okay.
daughter had the children, and one of them.
And yeah, because what my confusion is in talking, I'm like, surely the daughter is the queen mother, no?
No, it would still be the mum.
How?
This is the mother.
But the daughter is the mother.
But they're both mother. So one is the matriarch. If it's matriarchal, then the mum's mum has to get respected now.
Yeah.
It's okay. I'm checking
Yeah,
it
because I'm
now.
wondering how the grandson becomes king.
I did a lot of research. I got notes, yeah.
Quad.
But my research starts back. My research starts back
What?
from like the dentura.
So
And
1700s.
Yeah, 1680.
Okay, yeah.
Even 1620.
So
So you could the lineage then.
yeah. Let's go from there. Let's go from the beginning because basically
Okay.
we've got this energy of the people who are a warrior group and the others.
They're warrior people, man.
Yeah.
I got that in my study too. Big warrior energy. Big warrior energy. My research starts with the dentura people who I think I kind of heard you saying this when I came in. They were of the Akan people who are tree speaking. So they speak tree and they're called the Akan people. Yeah. And there's like a lot of couple different groups of them.
Mm,
The dentura basically dominated the Akan. They were like the biggest and most powerful. The Akan were making, or the dentura, were making money through the gold trade. They were making money by trading gold with Europe, and they were making big money doing that. And because they were dominating the other Akan people, they were imposing like taxes that you had to pay food, You had to bring them gold, bring them food, bring them, this, bring them that, every so often to kind of like keep them on it. And they were apparently they were quite harsh with it. They were quite on it. So group of different states within the Akan region came together and they met up in Kumasi. So, just before that, because where did Kumasi come from? Kumasi started with a man called Okonfo Anoche. Did anyone research Okonfo Anoche?
Nah.
No.
Oh my gosh! Okonfo Anoche is him. Yeah, he's the guy. Okonfo Anoche is the guy. Yeah, so he was Okonfo is a title, right? And it's like a priest, a wise sage, a lawgiver. He's the guy who summoned the golden stool. That's Okonfo Anoche. Yeah.
Right.
So he's a priest. He basically one day, like, he was just a miracle worker. He was just a guy who could just make things happen. Born in 1655. One day he's walking through the dangerous territory. One day he's walking through the dangerous territory, and he sees Osei Kofi Tutu, who is a king already, but he's been captured by the Denchera and imprisoned for the purpose of sacrifice. So they make friends, and Okonfo Noche says, "I'm gonna free you. Yeah, I'm gonna pattern it." And there's a really cool story about how he does it. Like, he basically gets himself arrested and then gets him out with, like, the king's the dangerous king's daughter was bitten by a snake, and then Okonfo Noche resurrected her. Yeah. And they escaped, I think, that way.
Mm.
So yeah, really cool.
It's a good thing that
So
you. Oh, sorry, go on.
no, go on.
I was saying, just wanted to highlight stuff that you said about the sacrifice thing, which is what I came across in my research, that human sacrifice was actually like a thing with the Asante as well. And I was just like, wow.
This was the danger though. This was before
That
that.
was
This is before the
yeah,
Asante.
that was their custom, yeah. The human
Yeah.
sacrifice when, like, when somebody dies, or when I think somebody in the royal family dies. It's like, and I've seen this in movies, like someone in the royal family dies and someone has to be sacrificed to go with them. I came across
Mm.
that as well.
I didn't
And
even catch
that
that
was
with
one
the
of the things
Asante,
that the British were using against them. And one of the things the British were trying to use as their, like, justification, as like, you need to stop human sacrifice and you need to do this and do that. Yeah, we're coming in here to stop human sacrifice, basically.
Right. Got you. Interesting. Okay. Um. So yeah, basically, Okonfo Anoche has gone to save Osei Tutu. He saved him, and he's brought him back to Asanteman. Asanteman is basically the region that becomes the Asante Kingdom, but I don't think it's the Asante Kingdom yet, right? And I wish there was someone here that was Ghanaian that could, like, confirm I'm getting the details right, because you know how it goes. Yeah, I've only done 1 month of research, and obviously, for disclaimer, just in case anyone was to come for me, I've done 1 month of research, so I'm doing my best. But this is what I
You
got.
might have a
So
guy in the audience that can correct you if you're wrong,
yeah, hopefully,
respectfully, of
yeah.
course.
I'm seeing a Kojo. You get me. So hopefully you can dash in a couple of gems. That's my guy. But yeah. Anyway, so um, he has planted. He's basically split a kum tree in half and planted the two halves in different regions, in different places. A kum tree is an upside down tree where the roots grow up and the leaves grow down.
Mm.
Yeah. And Okonfo Nuche said the one that grows that is going to be the center of, the capital of Osei Tutu's empire. The one that grew, that's the one that they call Kumasi. And Kumasi, I think, means under the kum tree. So like where the kum tree grew. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so boom, Kumasi exists in 1680, right? Thanks to Osei Tutu and Okomfo Anoche, who they've separated from the Denchira. But the Denchira are still the ruling power at the time. So they like dominate the Akan region and they're claiming taxes from people. So a group of them, a group of different states come together in Kumasi to basically discuss an overthrow, right? And they're like, we're going to throw these guys out. We don't like the way they're doing things, you know. And Okonfo Noche, he basically summons this golden stool from the sky and it lands on Osei Tutu's lap. And as I heard you guys saying earlier, the golden stool is the one. You get me? Like it's different from the stools that they were all sitting on. So they were all basically, when all the chiefs of the different states came, they were all sitting on their stools. They all had their own stool that they would sit on as a chief, you know. Um, and when the golden stool was summoned down, that was like very significant. Um, so he's placed it. It's landed on Sa Tutu's lap, and he's basically said, "Well, there you go. There's your sign. There's your miracle. Osei Tutu is going to be the king." And everybody agreed. Nobody complained. Everyone said, "Yes, we agree." Osei Tutu. I mean, I think the fact that they had met up in Kumasi kind of said something as well. But you know, they all agreed that he was going to be the ruler, and they all gave up their own stool. So they stood up off their stool and gave it to him as a sign that he is the one. Yeah, and they are not. That's it now. It belongs to him. And the Asante kingdom or empire was founded, right?
Yeah.
And it was founded. Asante means because of war or something like that. Means
Yeah.
because of war.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they founded it so that they could fight the Denchira, right? That's why they founded it.
Yeah.
So um they have they were growing and they were kind of like absorbing other states and whatever. And in where am I? They came together to declare war, golden stool, nobody complained, swore allegiance, rituals. Oh yeah, Confor Noche placed a sword in the ground. He placed a sword in the ground and said that that the empire would fall if that sword is ever removed. Yeah, he said that empire, the Asante Empire, will fall if that sword ever comes out the ground. The Asante Kingdom is finished,
This is like
right?
King Arthur.
And many people
I
have tried to
literally
remove
was
it.
thinking that. Sorry, there.
What did you say?
It's like King
You said
Arthur.
King Arthur, and I was literally thinking that. I was thinking, this is a movie. This is King Arthur. Well,
The
yeah.
movie, innit?
This
Innit?
is a
Innit? The
movie.
T-shit for King Arthur. Feisty. Absolutely feisty. Talking about King Arthur with a sword and a stone. And he was the one to pull out stupidness. Some stupid little blonde. So they're basically like put this sword in the ground. He's dashed the sword in the ground and said this sword won't come out. And when it does, the Asante Kingdom is finished. On that very day, yeah. And the sword, they've tried to remove the sword, even with different machinery, and they've been unable to do so, right? Apparently, Muhammad Ali tried to pull the sword out
Ah,
and wasn't
Where
yeah.
do you remember that?
wasn't able to do so. Yeah, apparently Muhammad in 1965, right? But
Yes.
no one's been able to pull this sword out. So in
Wow.
1701, yeah, bear in mind, Kumasi was founded in 1680. The Golden Stool was summoned in 1695. Have I got that right? Have I got that right? Yeah, Golden Stool was summoned in 1695. So 1701, 6 years later, after the Golden Stool was summoned, yeah, Kumasi is founded in 1680. Golden Stool 1695. Good 15 years later that he's been doing his thing. 1701, there's the Battle of Fayashe, F Meyase.
And that's
There's
a
a
civil war,
battle.
right? That's a civil battle between them and the Fanti or one of the other
And the
neighbouring tribes.
Denchira. And the
Oh,
Denchira, yeah.
that's it. That's
Yeah,
it.
that's the battle where they
Yeah.
beat the Denchira. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then they basically became the dominant power among the Twi speaking Akan people. Yeah, because that's the battle in 1701 where they defeated the Denchira. Um, the Fanti, as I understand it, they were basically, um, I'm going to try not to sound disrespectful because I don't know the ins and outs, but they were kind of like, they were getting protection from the British. They were kind of like seeking protection from the British.
I'm pretty sure
Um,
They sided with the
one
British.
of the, so yeah. I'm pretty sure they
they were
even had
allies, you said.
soldiers living amongst them and married one of the women and had children there and all sorts.
Yeah, they
There
sided
you go.
with to reduce the strength of the military force. Yeah, they actually had snitches as well and people that were like, within
There you go.
going to Fanti as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mhm. So that's the Dentura's um, role in starting or in helping to start the Ashanti Kingdom that Asantewaa basically was born into, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Going back to what you were saying about the golden store, I just wanted to say as well. So with that, it's not a
yeah,
die. It was Akwesadai. Akwesadai is a ceremony every 49 days on a Sunday, and
Mm.
they have all of the people gather with the actual golden store is brought out at this one,
Okay.
and no king, even the king of the time, doesn't even sit on it, but they can only touch it, and it's less than 3 times. So no human bum can sit on that stool.
Okay.
Basically, it has its
yeah,
stool to sit on, and it's been named.
yeah.
Its name is Sika Dwa Kofi because it was born on a Thursday, I think. So
It's
it's
a
got
deeply
they see it
spiritual
as a
artifact.
human, like it's a embodies all of the ancestors, but they see it itself as a person. That's
Not
why
just the
it has
ancestors,
its stool.
not just the ancestors. It's said to harness all the spirits of every Ashanti that has ever lived, from the ancestors to the ones that haven't been born yet, to
Mm,
every single one that is alive,
mm,
right? And
Mm.
and their spirit is inside that golden stool,
mm,
and it kind
Mm.
of like represents the spirit of the Ashanti. So it
mm.
was impossible for them to give it up. Do you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It was
Mm.
impossible for them. It was like that was literally has the spirit of every single Ashanti in there, in that
Mm.
golden stool. So, um, yeah, very good point. Very interesting about that stool. And I know there's so many things that I'm forgetting, but I have done a lot of research. I'm trying not to.
It wasn't just the Fanti and the Denchira. Like the Asante were beefing with loads of the other smaller tribes, coastal tribes.
Yeah,
Obviously they were the most dominant tribe. They were kind of taking over, a bit like Shaka Zulu, taking over. Like we are the biggest and baddest. Come that you basically like follow our lead and kind of just do what we say basically. And so they kind of created enemies with the other tribes as a result of those kind of not enemies I suppose, but they
Yeah.
weren't their favorite people. Do you get me? So it was easy for the British to exploit that when they came
Mm.
and offer them,
mm,
ally with them. My enemy of my enemy is my friend. And that kind of thing. So that
Yeah.
made it easier. And even outside of the civil battles within the Ashanti kingdom itself, there was lots of like Game of Thrones tactics as well happening, which also would have been weak links in them being infiltrated or betrayed by their own and that kind of thing. So
Yeah,
mm.
because even what Lydia was explaining with exactly what you just said, she was saying that because of all these conflicts that was going on, that meant that the even till today there's still beefs going on, like
mm,
which affects. So essentially, the dominant is the what she said is the Asante king has the final say in terms of
mm.
power and influence
And it's always been that way.
before the government. So
It's always, yeah.
yeah,
Even when it comes to land and stuff like that, what happens with the land?
the chief or the people have to speak
Yeah,
first,
yeah.
and it's kind of okayed by the government.
I remember like one time I was talking to this Ghanaian guy, talking to him about something, and I asked him, "Oh, are you Ashanti?" And he was offended that I assumed he was Ashanti. I think he said he was, yeah. Like, I don't know if that's still beef now, but it's just the fact that like, he's like, "No, I'm Fanti" or something. He was Fanti or something else. But he's like, but he said it was like, he said it was like a little bit like, nah, like I'm this. Like I was like, all right, sorry, like, and now I know what I know. I can kind of see why there was a little bit of
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Casa, yeah. Wow,
there was that.
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
Slightly off topic, but Nat and Stella, are you aware that your screen is black right now? Or
Black.
is that just for me? Yems, can you
Just
see them, or is it just me?
still in with her
You can see
radiant
Nat and Stella fine.
the screen. I can see her. Yeah.
Okay, it's just me that can't see Nat and Stella, so let's ignore it then, because I can't see them. Their screen is
Maybe
just black.
they need to come back.
Yeah, no, it's cool. It's not that deep.
But they
As long as they can be seen by the audience, then it
don't want
doesn't. I can
to
hear them fine.
see
Yeah. Okay. Um.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Well, even though you're right that it wasn't just the Fanti, yeah, the
mm,
Fanti are kind of responsible for the first Anglo-Ashanti War. So that's kind of where I went next with my research.
okay.
So the Ashanti, in their expansion, they decided to claim some Fanti territory, and Britain claimed it too. They were like, no, we're not going to allow you to have it. So in 1823, this is now, because obviously before we were talking about what, 1701, when the Ashanti defeated the Denturer. 1701. So now 1823, we're under new leadership. Is a new story. But it's still the same warrior tribe of people who have been growing and growing and growing, because in that time, once they've basically become the dominant force in the Akan region, they were making money. They were trading golds. They were doing all the things as well. They were making money, right? Um, I believe they were also involved in the slave trade. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. That's something I came across. Yeah, the Ashanti at that time. So
I
they
came
were
across.
making money basically. Um, so
It.
1823.
I think when you
Mm,
say the involvement, I think what happened was because they couldn't really get rid of the British, they tried to keep to control what was happening as much as possible. So they decided to be in charge of the coastal forts or whatever, or something like that. Vaguely remember, but basically, yeah, they didn't like it, but if they want to come start doing certain things in their land, they had to come through us first. Basically, that was the kind of gist that I got from it, as opposed to them doing it
mm,
as a personal gain kind of thing. Even though it was personal gain too, it's basically like anything that comes through our land is to come through us first. We're gonna chop, basically. Yeah.
right. So Britain weren't having that. They led an army of 2,500 into the Ashanti, but they faced an army of 10,000, and Britain got absolutely whooped, right, in the first battle in the Anglo-Ashanti War, the Battle of Nsamankow, that is Nsamankow, right, which is on the 22nd of Jan 1824. Um, the Ashanti, they killed the British governor, whose name was McCarthy. They hollowed out his skull, they rimmed it with gold, and they turned it into a cup for the
Mm.
Asante Hini.
Again, more movie stuff.
Gangster, right? Gangster.
More movie stuff.
Um, they also defeated the Fanchi and the Denchira at the Battle of Ofutu later that year. The British withdrew to Sierra Leone in 1828, and the war officially ended in 1831 after the Ashanti accepted the Pra River as a boundary. So the Pra River is one of the rivers that's kind of with like on the boundary of the Ashanti Kingdom, yeah. So they accepted that as a boundary. They said, you know what, we're willing to stop the fighting here. Um, another thing that happened was that as they're fighting, obviously they're during this first battle. I think Britain might have brought out some bombs, and kind of like blown things up, and they were like, whoa, they thought that thunder and lightning was coming down. So they've basically, there's been a lot of back and forth between 1823 and 1831 in this first Anglo-Ashanti War. There was the Battle of Nsamanko that the Ashanti won, but ultimately the Ashanti won the first Anglo-Ashanti War. They won the whole thing, right? Until they kind of like stopped at the Pra River and said, this is the boundary, we're not going to chase you past here. And then there was peace for something like 30 years, right? Then there was the second Anglo-Ashanti War. So this come as the Ashanti pursued a fugitive whose name was Kwesi Gyana across the Pra River. And the Ashanti brought basically like a large force to pursue this one fugitive. And Britain was intimidated by that. And they'd come across the Pra River. So Britain was like, nah, fam, they fought back basically. That one, from what I'm reading, ended in a stalemate. Because of illness. There was a lot of illness. Like the white people couldn't handle the malaria or whatever was going on. Yeah, they were coughing and choking and whatever. So 1864, that one ended in a stalemate and nothing really popped. And then the third one, the third Anglo-Ashanti War, was a huge turning point. That was the one that they lost, and they lost it pretty badly. So 1873, the British General Garnet Wolseley, he led 2,500 British troops, just like before, 2,500 troops, but this time he had several thousand Indian and African troops with him,
And some
and
Caribbean too, right? I read.
some what?
Some West Indian ones apparently too. I was like, no,
West
no.
Indian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
No way.
yeah,
If it wasn't that one, it was the War of the Golden Stool. It was if it wasn't the third one, it was the fourth or fifth one. They had African troops, troops from Sierra Leone, troops from another part of Africa, I can't remember where, and West Indian troops as
yes.
well. And
I
that
didn't
was
know we were in the mix at all. I had no idea we were in the mix.
nothing. They're
Like,
getting the Ashanti people their teeth to bring to the Caribbean to come back to
they brought
Ashanti
them back
land
to
to fight
fight.
their own people.
Crazy.
Can you imagine?
I put
Yeah.
it.
So when I saw that, my heart kind of stopped.
Crazy.
Well, my heart kind of stopped. I wasn't impressed. West Indian people, I wasn't impressed.
Yeah.
But it shows you.
Okay, so Wusi's blessing us in the comments saying they didn't lose badly. The British said if the Ashanti had better arms, they would have wiped out their forces. And that's correct. But the Ashanti did not have better arms. The British had machine guns,
Mm.
and they basically came with the machine guns, and they
And more
like
troops this time around, isn't it?
and more
Each time they
troops.
came back, they were better prepared than the previous time. And by the
Yeah.
time, so by the time the War of the Golden Stool happened, they had some next military strategy happening. They had built that post where they they built a road to Kumasi. They had outposts along the way, so their soldiers had that refuge and somewhere to that recover. They knew what to expect. They knew the tactics. They knew what artillery they needed, and that's what basically how they eventually won. They underestimated
Mm.
the Ashanti initially. They underestimated the region. They didn't know the landscape. So they all came back and patterned up and eventually defeated them, basically.
There was in the third Ashanti War, there was a general, or an Ashanti general named Amankwatia, who I would like to really do more research on because he apparently distinguished himself quite a lot. Like
Mm.
the British were singing his praises. They were
Yeah,
saying, "Wow, this guy was
yeah,
he was like a god on the battlefield. He was running things." So I would be really interested in seeing if I could find more about. He probably deserves a movie, Amankwatia.
yeah,
The general, the Ashanti general.
yeah.
Um, okay, the Ashanti only lost because the king of Dwaben, with his 10,000 army, refused to join the main army and protected his own land. Is that in Accra? obviously, because I'm hearing that's a thing. I don't know if that's the first or the third war, but the Ashanti were disappointed that in Accra they weren't coming to back them, and if Accra had come to back them, then they would have done better. But
Sad, isn't it?
Accra wasn't coming to back them, basically. I don't know if that's what Owusi's saying with this comment. The king of Dwabin. I've never even heard of Dwabin. I didn't come across Dwabin in my research. So,
Yeah.
but ultimately they did lose the third. They did lose the third war, right?
Mm,
Um, at the Battle of Amoaful, and the capital Kumasi was briefly occupied by the British and then
mhm.
burned.
They burnt the palace.
Burnt the palace.
They
They got
they
the
they
Asante
visited the
signed a
palace.
peace
They burned it.
treaty. Yeah. So he said
Yeah.
they burned the palace.
Yeah, so when they got to Kumasi, it was the palace that they literally went in there, posted up for a bit. It's like, yeah, we're in the palace, and they saw, like, they were surprised that there were so many books of different topics and different languages in there,
Right.
so different, like, items and luxury items and stuff like that. They wasn't expecting it, so they took what they wanted to take and they burnt it down.
Amazing. Look at this research. I'm so grateful to be doing this with you guys, because it's like the layers that I'm getting from just hearing other people, like we're all researching the same person. That
Mm,
is value. Thank you so much.
yeah. So it wasn't Kumasi itself; it was just the palace that they basically burnt.
It was just the palace.
Yeah.
Okay. And they were ordered to pay 50,000 ounces of gold to Britain.
Yeah.
Um, a year or a month? I can't. I'm gonna say a
I think
year.
it was a month.
Feels
I think
Paid,
it was a month.
which they never
month sounds
paid.
crazy.
They never paid it till
Yeah.
today.
They wanted that because it was kind of like, oh, you made us go to war with you. So as a result of, the expenses that we've lost and the losses that we've
But
incurred,
the Sante
no,
never paid.
no, I never paid it. No, but it's not clear as to whether they refused to pay it or they couldn't pay it.
They
That
said
was
they
clear.
I think it's kind of like a very Ghana way, actually, from our experience, but it's kind of like the kind of double speak. So they're not paying because they intend not to pay. They're not paying,
Mm,
but they
mm,
may like find a reason that's like
mm,
gives you,
mm, mm, I heard that.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I never paid it anyway. But obviously, it didn't. It obviously caused things to escalate. But how dare you come to my country, try to take over my country, and then when I fight you, you want to say, oh, you inconvenience me, now you have to pay me, and that's what they're doing now, also this day with African
So I'm
countries.
told that was the
Petty
fifth
thief.
Ashanti War, or the,
Sorry,
or
Oh,
the fourth, or the fourth. Sorry, I'm told that was the fourth Ashanti War.
okay.
But you're saying they never paid it. I
they
didn't know
never
that. Never.
paid.
I didn't know if they paid it or not. To be fair, I didn't.
No, it was
But
never
this is the
paid.
first I'm
That
hearing
was
they
That's
why.
never
what
paid it.
Lydia was
That's
saying.
why they went to
Even
war with them again, because it never got
That
paid.
was why the fourth Ashanti. Okay, so look, hear this then, yeah. This war was in 1873, right? The next war, the fourth Ashanti war, was in 1894. So if they never paid it from 1873 to 1894, that's a long time for Britain not to do anything about that.
yeah,
Mm,
And it was 1894 that Britain basically wanted the Asantehene to submit as a protectorate, like you said earlier,
mm,
and the king said no, we must remain independent. And then Britain pulled up, and they kind of leaned on, yeah, it was Prempe, I think his name was, and he
mhm,
was accused of not paying the 50,000 ounces of gold agreed
mhm.
in the Treaty of Comina.
So maybe
But
they
this
started
is
paying it
now
when they
we're now
stopped.
like we're now like 20 years down the line, as opposed
Maybe
to
they
like,
started
we're
paying it when they
literally 20
stopped
years
because we
down the
missed the
line from
payment
when the
back
treaty
in
was signed.
Britain.
so you're both
So
talking
come
at
again.
the same time.
No, I say maybe they started making payments because this is what part of the reason why Yaa Asantewaa was cussing them. Like, so they let these people come and take you for months. Maybe they started paying the 50,000
Yeah.
out of gold and then they stopped paying it. And because they
Well,
stopped paying it, it caused Britain to be like, well, where's my money? Where's my gold?
but
Sorry. Maybe.
Mm.
this brother Owusu is dropping a lot of stuff in the comments. He's basically saying that all of Kamasi was destroyed. The Asante paid 500 ounces of gold of the 50,000 asked for.
Okay. So all of Kumasi was destroyed.
That's what you
Sorry,
said.
say that again. They paid 500 of the 50,000.
500 ounces of gold off the 50,000 that was asked for.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
And that was fifty
Look at
thousand a
that.
month, right?
50,000 was what was asked for.
Okay.
Yeah,
As a
Was it
one-off.
50,000 a month though now?
I think
No,
that's
in
in
total.
Or was
total.
it 50,000 one-off fee?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, the total.
Oh, okay,
But,
it's a one-off fee. Okay.
I
All
got a
right.
comment up there. So I'll share the next one. But basically, he said in answer to the question earlier, Dwarbin is one of the principal kingdoms of the Asante Empire. It was made up of 5 big kingdoms, and the rest were tributaries.
Okay.
Okay.
Because my understanding is that with all of the tributees, they basically can't ever kill out the Asante, because if you stop one, then the next king can come forward and replace that. There's never, not supposed to be any time where the seat is empty or who's the next ruler. That's my understanding.
And so, Nate, you're gonna get to the point, but basically, yeah, how it proved that um,
That's why,
Yaa Asantewaa actually was in a position
yeah, because, well,
because
because she was the only one left.
she was the only one left, and they had many leaders. But what Lydia was saying to us is that it's inbuilt in people,
Yeah.
that warrior energy. So when one leader is removed or several leaders are removed, there's always going to be one
Step
to
up.
step up because they're all
Oh yeah,
embedded.
because they deported some, didn't they? They
They
deported quite
deported
a few
all
before
like
time.
several
Yeah,
of them.
yeah. Mm.
You know, right now, Kumasi is the biggest market in West Africa.
No, they're not.
Like them, that's where the hustler spirit is, right there. Do you know what I mean? That's where the energy, that's where the entrepreneurial, and that's where the boss energy is. Do you know what I'm
Mm.
saying? Like literally, it's all over the place. It really has inspired the people. It's like the biggest market. Everyone is selling. Everyone is putting in work. You know, which I think is really interesting.
Mm. So yeah, back to
That is
and
very
when they
interesting.
kidnapped them, yeah, the kings, where they took them to
Seychelles.
Seychelles.
before they took them to the Seychelles, they actually held them at Elmina Castle
Yeah,
for a period.
that's where
Okay.
That's where
Yaa
they held,
Asantewaa.
and that's also where, when she finally got captured, that's also where they held her for a period of time. But they actually stripped her naked, and they actually humiliated her as well.
Yeah.
They disrespected her. There's pictures. There is actually a picture of it.
Is
But
it?
No way.
Lydia was saying when they held her in Elmina Castle, all of the people would gather because the Queen Mother was in the castle. So, and the castle was where, the court is where the Brits stayed. So the people would come with food, with things, say, "But you've got our Queen here. You can't be, you can't be treating her anyhow. It's the Queen." Like, so they'd come in numbers, and they'd be disturbing the British. They'd be getting annoyed because, like, all these people keep coming to try and look for her, like
Mm.
our Queen in the castle. So in the middle of the night or whatnot, they took her and they put her on the ship to send her to the Seychelles to stop the problem of all the people kept gathering to try and protect their queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. These guys were serious. Some of these battles, the Asante were pulling up 40,000 man deep. Do you know what I'm saying? Like these guys were really on it. They really were like a warrior people. They weren't trying to.
Mm.
They were the group who stood on business, you know, for the longest.
So chronologically, you're at battle 4 or war 4, yeah.
I'm at battle number 4. Yeah, war number 4. Yes, yeah. Um. So you know, war number 5 is the War of the Golden Stool. So
Mm.
that's kind of where I think I joined you guys. So war number 5. I've got Frederick Hodgson as the clown responsible. 1900. He's pulled up. He's in Kumasi, and he says, "Where is the golden stool? Why am I not sitting on the golden stool? I am representing the Queen, who is the principal power in this country. Why didn't you take the opportunity when you heard that I was coming to bring me the stool so that I could sit on it?" And the people were like, "Nah." The people were like, "Nah." you know. But they didn't kill him and turn his skull into gold and drink from it. Do you know what I'm saying? So um, they were even, you know, maybe being a bit flaky until Yaa Asantewaa stepped in and said, "Nah, let me say it louder for you. It will not happen." You know, she said, "Definitely not." She said the days of Okonkwo Anoche and Osei Tutu, you would never have let a white man come here and speak to us like that. So what happened to the Ashanti now that we're behaving like this, that we're bringing shame on our people, that we're sitting there listening to these white people come and tell us that we have to give them our golden stool, and you know we're even considering it. She said it can't run, basically. And then she said, if you the men won't fight, then we the women will fight. She's taken the gun, she shot it into the air, blow, and then she's you know, yeah, led the thing. But that's the fifth war. So the fifth war, the Ashanti ultimately didn't win as well. I'm told that they killed up to 1,000 British, which is the most British that they had killed in any of the five wars. You know, for some of the other wars, I'm seeing numbers like 176 or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like 1,000 British they killed in the fifth war.
Oh, this is
Um,
2000.
but they lost 2,000 Ashanti.
Okay.
So the Ashanti were ultimately subdued. Yaa Asantewaa was sent to Seychelles. Um, and obviously that brings us on to, I mean, from there, we, like I said, once we're talking about the fifth Ashanti War, we're kind of talking about the main point. So I just wanted to, the reason I did the lead up is to get a grasp on the history. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, like on the lead up, on the chronology, on the backstory. That's what I'm trying to say to Yaa Asantewaa, because I think it's important to understand the culture that she was standing on, the shoulders that she was standing on. You know, like when she said, Okonkwo Anoche and Osei Tutu would never allow it. Like, it's important for us to know who they were, what they did. You know what I'm saying? That they started the Ashanti of the other tribes to defeat the Denchira. They defeated the British. They defeated well, did they defeat the British actually? Did I don't know. I don't know if they came into contact with the British. Actually, I can't remember. I don't think I came across that Osei Tutu came into contact with the British. Um,
No, I didn't come across that either.
well, not at least in any type of fighting way, because the British, the Denchira were trading with the British. They were trading with them, and
Right.
then when the Ashanti took over, I think they took over the trade as well. But I don't think they had any kind of passer with them. They were just taking their money. And then it wasn't until like a good 100 years later, like I said earlier, that they started violating, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna take you as well. And then the Ashanti were like, no, you're not. Yeah, but that wasn't until like a good 100 years later. So I don't know. I don't think Osei Tutu ever actually like punched up the British, but still, you know, like looking at his story and looking at the story of Okonkwo Anoche in particular, this guy was a miracle worker. This guy was said to he was Okonkwo, like I said in the title, he was a priest. So he was said to live in a house which had no roof, but he never got wet when it rained, you know, and he was said to separate the rivers, so he took one river and he just changed the course of it. So now there's two rivers. Um, he was said to carve stone with his fingers, like he's carved out of like stone, you know, and made it into something. I think he was one of the people responsible for introducing the game of Owari. That was an interesting little thing that I kind of passed by, but I really wish I spent more time like confirming that and writing it down when I saw it, because I saw it and I was like, oh whoa, no way, and then I kind of just kept it moving because there's a lot.
What is Harari?
But
It's like a strategy
Awari,
with a little
bro,
ball,
Awari's the coldest game.
with
This
a
is
little ball to
Awari.
go around. You've definitely seen it before.
Let's see.
This is Awari, yeah. So it's basically like it's a game that has. I can't even switch my screen. I'm gonna have to do this. I can't because I can't spill it. It's a game.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
that's in Nigerian game as well.
Mm. And there are 12 houses. The little dips
Nigeria.
houses. There are 12 houses, and you put 4 seeds in each house,
Say that.
and then you kind of go around and around and around and around until you score points. And there's lots of different ways to play it, like lots of different cultures play it. I learned this game when I was doing youth work with Kirsty at the Manden in Leighton, and I was playing with some child and one Indian child, and his mum came and she was like, "Oh, we have this game in India," you know, and I was like, "Wow," you know, literally. So, but Okonfo Noche apparently is like one of the people that's credited with like conceptualizing the game or bringing the game into the space. That was something I come across, but I need to verify it. So you know, it just piqued my interest when I saw it.
It's
Okay.
so
Same
interesting
way I need to do more research on that military general
because
Uncle Phil.
there's so many links because with the way that they learn the story of Yaa Asantewaa and other stories like Osei Tutu's story is through song. They teach like songs that actually tell the story because actually when talking to Lydia, the brother that I posted in the group who was talking about the history of Yaa Asantewaa, you'll see the way they describe the story is so in depth that they have all of the dates, facts, all of the information of each character and what everyone did and what role they played. And it's because their grandmas and whoever teach them this story, pass it down so that the history is never taken away from the people. That's how we get a chance to hear about Yaa Asantewaa in such detail and not only from a British point of view, which obviously is always skewed and on the side of the enemy. So we even learnt about Ashanti, not Ashanti, sorry, and Nancy the spider, because she was saying basically most of the stories that they tell, they use Nancy the spider kind of to open up a story time. So like they don't call them griots. She called it. Yeah, she said the name, but I can't remember the actual name. But
Essentially, stories.
yeah, they'll go into story time, they'll go into song, and then they'll start breaking down the history of Osei Tutu or like the priest you just mentioned or Yaa Asantewaa. And then she's now passed that on to her daughter, who now is making a documentary for Yaa Asantewaa. So she's doing that in at Bath Uni. So that's the modern version of keeping the story going. But I was saying to her, actually, what Revolution Minds is kind of like a version of that. We do poetry, like we learn the history and then we're going to turn it into poetry, and then that's the way to teach it. And she was like, yes, the best way is always through storytelling. Like you have to be exciting as a storyteller. You can't be boring. You have to use music. You have to get everyone engaged. They have to be gathered around and enthralled by the stories you're about to tell them, which is 100%.
The academic is not really our way.
No, like can't be there like in 19 so blah blah blah. Like you would hear playful like, and that's why they're all so able to tell that story in that such exciting way. When she was talking, me and that were engaged. She was just spilling out all of the facts, all the dates, all of this stuff. So yeah, just that in.
I so wish that we could have seen it or like got a recording or like
I know
got
several
her hair,
times I
man.
was
That would have
thinking,
been
oh,
amazing.
turn the recording on, like, but you can't really turn it on with the on the phone. It doesn't let you. But yeah, she, I don't know. I don't think she'll come on Sunday, but you never know.
Why? Why do you think that?
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know.
Mm.
She doesn't. It's because she's busy.
It's probably
Yeah.
because she'll say because she is busy.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But yeah, either way,
We'll
she'll
see.
answer our questions, so that would be good.
Hey, at least she gave us the time to speak to us.
Yeah, exactly,
At least
exactly.
she gave us the time to speak to us. We're grateful for that. So
Yes. So if you're seeing this, Lydia, give thanks. Give thanks for your energy and information that you've bestowed upon us. Give
Yeah.
thanks. And basically, yeah, what she was saying is true. And what we're doing is a way of is our way of educating and disseminating information about our people. it is through the arts. So it's a
exactly.
testament to what we're at. But yeah, so Yaa Asantewaa, Nate, or Blue Lotus, Stella B.
Well, I did hear that when she.
If we start from the beginning of
Oh,
Yaa
Yaa
Asantewaa,
Asantewaa. No, I haven't heard information.
Let's get to the beginning of Yaa Asantewaa now. Like, did anyone get any information about her before she was 60 years old?
Only that.
That was my question to you guys. What? You're asking me now?
Similar information to Nate, to be honest with you. Got similar information to Nate.
The only thing I heard was about her doing like farming and things like that. I haven't heard in detail. We're waiting for Lydia to give us some information.
She's the Queen Mother, so she must have, I don't
Oh,
know,
yeah,
what do Queen Mothers do?
you're trying to figure out how that became a thing earlier.
I'm trying to figure out what she did with her life. She's 60 by the time we really get into her story. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Was she 60 for
So
true?
what was she like in her 20s?
Old woman moving like that, yeah.
Careful with the old.
Wow. I'm impressed.
Yeah, she was like, but they're built different.
Yeah, man.
They're built different.
No nonsense, granny. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
I would love to know what she was like in her 20s, and I'm sure the information is out there. I just didn't make time to find it.
well,
So that's why I was hoping you guys could get a quick answer from Sister Lydia.
well,
But I'm guessing you asked her and she didn't tell you.
well, it's pending. It's pending.
She said she'll get back to you.
I think Danny's trying to get.
She's not.
She just read message.
I mean, the people that would have been closest to her got exiled, right? And then died. I think only one person came back from exile. And became the king again.
Pempe.
Pempe.
He's the one who came back.
But whether or not he told his descendants about her prior to anything, because obviously for people to know about her in her younger days, someone who knew her during her younger days would have to tell people who told people who told people, and we don't know if that happened. Especially if she was insignificant in her 20s compared to when she was in her 60s fighting battles.
Yeah. So, okay, my understanding is that she was selected to be Queen Mother, and she wasn't. Pempe, who was king, was not her grand.
What?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, from a polygamy, because she was in a polygamy relationship or something like that. She was one of.
Yeah, she was. I read that too. Yeah, she was. She wasn't even a first wife, I don't think.
So the son was one of the other women's children, is what you're saying.
Say again.
So the marriage that she was in was polygamous, but she was one of many wives. So the child Pempre was a child of one of the other wives, not her. Girl, she had the girl. She had the girl.
Yes.
And her daughter had children. I thought it was her daughter's children produced Pempre. Yeah. Oh.
No.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's one of the.
Yes. So, but she was selected to be Queen Mother, and she had wanted her grandson to become king, but he ended up being exiled along with.
Yeah.
Got you.
So, along with several other leaders, they got. But yeah, she was in a position to choose who the king is. That is the role of the Queen Mother.
Okay.
I'm seeing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Nate, it's not been. I'm sure it is out there, but yeah, it's not. The detail of her life before that point is not really out there like that. As far as I'm aware,
Publicized.
it's not publicized. So we see what Lydia gets back to us when she has time, and we can hopefully she's before Sunday. But like either way, we'll find out more detail in that sense. But it's not publicized like that.
Just got Yaa grew up in Bercies, but later moved to Boinkra to be closer to her farms. She married Owusu Kwabena, a son of the Ashantehini Osei Bonsu, and together they had one child, a daughter, Ama Sewa or Ama Bonkra. Yeah, so that's what I just found.
She married into the royal family, basically. With one of the wives.
Yeah.
That's it. I apologize for my accent, everyone.
Okay, we all agree.
So yeah. So did anyone get inspired by any poetry or anything like that? Because I feel like
I have written something, but I've only got one phone today, so I can't share it because I have to read it from this phone.
Okay.
And it's not finished yet, so I will not share it today. I'll save it for Sunday. So if you want to hear it, guys, come to Auntie Jean's on Sunday.
yeah. Okay.
Nate.
I haven't even started.
So we're in the same. Stella, did you start?
You're in the same boat.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Are you in the boat?
Yeah, I'm in the boat, but
Yeah, I've got something.
I've got no.
You started something, Stella.
I haven't got anything. I've just got a essence of where I'm going to go with it, but no, I haven't started anything.
You got a skip.
I haven't even got an essence. I've got nothing.
Okay.
I've got the spirit. You know what? Actually, no, I have got the spirit. I have got the spirit. I've been really like channeling her spirit all month, you know, and kind of tapping in with her. And like I said, learning her story, learning her like the things that she's proud of, and like learning about what she's standing on, you know. So I feel like I've got the spirit, but I haven't got a direction for how I'm going to take the piece yet. I have not. But I've got plenty of time. Got 2 whole days. Well, 1 whole day, sorry. 1 whole day. And then if you see me writing at Auntie Jean's Market, mind your business. That's what I'm saying.
I think we're used to it by now, to be fair.
Leave me alone
Nothing
and
new
let me
there.
do my thing. Don't disturb me, yeah?
Don't talk to
Let me
him.
write.
You talking to me, Maya, don't disturb me when I'm writing my poem again.
Don't disturb me. Let me write my poem. Let me finish. I'm not finished. Yeah, cool.
Leon's laughing.
So yeah, Owusu. If there's a way to bring up Owusu actually, because he seemed like he got a lot of information. And it's like so the comments. The Yaa Asantewaa War was so unfortunate because she was winning, but half the Asante quote unquote kings joined forces with the British in order to keep the British schools safe after the battle. That's interesting. We did actually, and Lydia was saying similar. She didn't say half the kings, but she said that one, as Stella was saying earlier, one was a proper snitch, and actually the snitch was the pivotal.
Yeah, because he kept giving
The traitor.
information.
The traitor.
So
Yeah, they had a proper traitor in there, yeah.
and you're going to do all of this or whatever, and then the snitch would go off and tell them this is where they're
Yeah.
going to be at this time, at this point.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like proper snaky behaviour.
Yeah, so it was that really meant the war ended and her surrendering because of fear for her daughter as well. So the straight up war wasn't one like that.
Yeah.
It was those elements.
And they lost anyway because they didn't get the stall, which was what it was really.
They didn't get the stall.
No.
That's my favorite part of the story.
Yeah.
Right.
That's my favorite part of the story. For me, that is the happy ending, you know, because it sucks that they deported Yaa Asantewaa and, you know, they colonized the land for the short time that they did, but they never touched that golden stool,
Yeah.
you know, like until Kwame Nkrumah laid eyes on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Did Kwame Nkrumah lay on it? Did he touch it?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Because I don't think anyone touches it. They're not supposed to.
No, there is a there's a process called installment. So when they appoint a new Asantehene, then they raise them over the. I don't know if they touch it but they raise them over the stool 3 times, and
Yeah,
like they lower them over the stool 3 times.
yeah. But I don't know if
And I think Kwame Nkrumah did that still, but I
really.
can't even double check without closing out of this.
Oh, I didn't. I
But
didn't.
if you got access to the internet, maybe search Kwame
Yeah,
Nkrumah
let me.
installment and see if he was installed. Because if he was, then yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, this is where it gets complex because if he was, then it would have literally been a forced thing because he's not a bloodline of the Asante. He's not Asante.
He's not a Santi. Okay, so that's what I was asking. Maybe he
Oh,
wasn't then.
what is
Maybe he
it?
wasn't.
He's a smaller group. I can't remember what Lydia says he's from, but he's really
Okay.
from a small village somewhere. But he's Asante. He's not. Yeah, he's not from the lineage.
No,
Okay.
he's not Asante at all. His group.
Okay.
He was a part of the Asini, I believe it is.
Okay,
Okay.
somewhere from beginning with K. But yeah, all very
Mm.
complex.
The
Some of
Asante
the
had
things
the
that I've
army.
say again.
I'm just reading what Owusu has contributed. The Asante had an army of 200,000. The next point was due to patriarchy today we only pick up Santua, but Queen mothers were the ones that created all our societies and kingdoms and empires. They were the highest in any Akan state.
The women,
That's
Hold
the
up. Due to patriarchy, we only big up Yaa Asantewaa.
as in they're
because of it.
restricting the amount of
This is the only great queen.
having of women.
Probably.
Okay. I
Yeah,
got you.
like what she was doing was what women did.
Yeah.
Like apparently the Akan in Ivory Coast, all of the Akan in Ivory Coast were all from one group of Asante that migrated there. And that was led by one woman.
Sorry, I got a new wallet from Ivory Coast. My friend just came back from Ivory Coast, and she gifted me with a wallet.
She
Oh wow,
I know. I really
imagine
like it.
if you ask her if that's Asante, because that would be
I
something
can't
else.
even get on the screen.
that'd
There you
be
go. You can see them upside down.
Yeah, it's looking fire. Yeah, Nate, ask her if
Yeah.
it's Asante.
If it's what?
Asante.
If it's a Santi, okay. I'll
Yeah,
ask.
that would be another spiritual.
but
That
yeah.
would be in it.
Um,
That would be crazy
but
if that came to me and it was from the Ashanti and it came to me while we're studying Yaa Asantewaa. That would be another one of the many like synchronicities that we get when we do this series.
Right.
That would be a big one still.
Owusu said, yeah, I've been to visit the Okonfo Anoche. Sorry for the mashup if I did so. Saw Asante in Ghana. The story is very true. I touched the sword and received a passion to research it.
ooh, that
Yo, if there's a
how
way to bring you up, you touched the sword and you try to pick it up. I want to know, did you try and lift it? Did you lift it?
got a download from
Can be
it.
our special guest
Yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
I want to
Or I
go.
for
think
the
you'll
next
come
couple
on
of months.
Sunday and we see to Auntie
Come
Jean's.
on Sunday. Oh,
Yeah,
see,
come on
come on
Sunday.
Sunday. We need
Tower
you.
Bridge. You guys got the
Bring a
address?
poem about Yaa Asantewaa, in fact, if you can. That would slap. You get me?
Yeah, that'll be.
Purbrick Street, right? Purbrick Street. It's the
We'll,
address.
we'll write it and put it in it.
That's what to keep it.
God.
yeah, Magdalen Hall Association, Pembroke Street, SE1 3DQ.
Someone put that in the chat.
Anyway,
Yeah, we're writing.
Viewers to come and join us.
anyway.
Was it from 1:30? 2:30? What was that?
From 2 p.m. to 8 p.m., we have a special collab this month. Kimbunga Media with Shakara is going to be featured, bringing in a special guest speaker whose name is not on here. Where is it? Professor Manu Ampim. Let me just see if I'm saying that right. A noted historian, researcher specializing in the studies of pioneering in the classical African civilizations, fields of Christology. So that's actually happening at Auntie Jean's. And then we have obviously the Revolutionary Minds.
Discussing Yaa Asantewaa, or
Yeah,
doing poetry about Yaa Asantewaa.
that's right. And then we also have a special guest, CEO of Ankara Limited, who'll be talking on well-being and health. Oh, and we have the B32 dance. Okay. Didn't even know about that one. So it's going to be amazing. Make
Yeah.
sure you get, we've got lots of stalls lined
There's
up.
gonna be food.
There's going to be
Yeah, there's
food.
gonna be
Yeah, go
there's
on.
gonna be books. There's gonna be different wares. I'm sure you'll find some artwork or something
Shea
to make you smell nice. You
snaps from
get
Irish
me?
Coast as well. The lady with the mango and the coconut things.
Oh, the mango is one of the most delicious things I've ever had. That
Oh,
mango there,
yeah, man. Sorry,
that
guys.
mango there. I don't know that you can't buy that in any shop. That
Yeah.
mango that she sells, you
It's
can't
fair.
get it anywhere.
It's
Oh,
true.
you can't get it anywhere. I've never had anything like it.
Some really
It's
amazing
like
food as
it's like
well.
you have one, and then before you know it, you're just stuffing it in your face. Like this is so good. It's just so like it's soft, but it's perfect. Honestly, so
Not
good.
sweet either.
Yeah,
£4
especially.
for a little bag of like the sliced mango, and it is just it's worth it.
Yeah,
But
it's
that's it. Come to Auntie G's market. There's an astrologer there, very handsome astrologer with a nice beard. You know, he's doing chart reading. There's I'm gonna try and bring some t-shirts as well. You know, hopefully the place will come pack out because Kimbunga's coming. Large up Kimbunga Media for organising the special guest. You know, definitely big up for that. Um, and for having us on their platform today. You know, that's
yeah.
also
Give
Give
Kimbunga
back.
Media, Shakara.
shout out for that, man.
Yeah, big
Honestly,
up.
we've been doing this for what 16 months now, maybe. I feel like I'm gonna lose count before anyone else, but boy,
I definitely
we're
lost
just
count
doing
now.
it, you know. But we've been doing it for a while, and yeah, we've learned so much. We've learned so much. Obviously, we will still have so much more to learn, and yeah, you know. But it's like it's just doing the due diligence of studying people who I guess um deserve to be in a spotlight. Revolutionaries, Pan Africans, like black nationalists, you know, like our heroes who deserve to be in a spotlight. And I think just us taking a minute to spotlight them is very significant what we're doing. So I'm grateful. I'm really grateful that we're a part of it. I'm grateful that we're doing it. I'm grateful that Kimbunga's supporting us the way they are because that's massive for what we're doing. You know, like hopefully what we're doing will like someone will be in the chat or someone will be listening and they'll hear it and they'll become inspired and they'll study with their child. Do you know what I mean? And they'll just study a different revolutionary mind every month. And that's it. You've just done that in your yard. That's your business. Please do that if you're listening. Do you know what I mean? Just pick a different revolutionary mind every month, study them. And, you know, obviously what we're doing, write poetry about them, performing at Auntie Jeans. Bring a poem to Auntie Jeans if you want to. You know, that would make all of us happy.
You
100%.
definitely.
But even if you just do it in your yard, man, just do something, you know, like I think it's good that Kimbunga is supporting what we're doing and helping us to get this message out because yeah, the purpose, the value that I've found in it, the value that you guys have found in it, the value that the others in the group chat have found in it, the way that as we're doing it, we're getting different synchronicities where we're meeting family members or where we're, you know, like connecting with, we're finding precious gems, just like, you know what I mean? Just that I wouldn't have even bothered look at if I wasn't doing this, if I wasn't actually researching my own heroes and sheroes and ancestors and whatever, you know, taking the time to do my due diligence, just a little 1 month. It doesn't have to be I'm studying them. You know, you can study someone in a 5 year course or whatever if you want to, you know, but just take a month and just like slow down. You don't have to do it every day. Do you know what I mean? Just make time within the course of that month to listen to them speak on YouTube or to read their autobiography or to listen to their autobiography, audiobook or
Mm.
something. I'm very passionate about this. You guys can probably tell because
I
I
know,
see
I know. Make sure you
I'm yapping away.
make
Sorry, but
sure you
this
reach
is
out Also, make sure you reach out to people when you are studying the person, because you'll be surprised how much information is.
People know.
It's a library of the human. Like, people know
Oh my days.
Definitely.
The
and
community has dropped so many gems on us.
so much, and it's so it's so enriching to have conversations that are about these stories and hear people actually just have all the facts for you. They can. We were chatting to someone who was telling us about their Orishas in a whole different way to what we hear on YouTube and anything else, because he knows it in the way that he's taught in Yoruba land. So it's just priceless. Go and speak to people, go and ask questions. Like, don't be shy. People will want to share that with you, their childhood stuff. So yeah, beautiful.
On that, I do want to just reel off these comments as well, because also has played that role today, and basically, as we reel off what he's saying, and then we get so the history of the Ashanti kings and the whole country itself. That's a book by Otumfuo Nana Agyeman Prempeh.
Actually, Adiman.
Yeah, Prempeh. It's up there.
Mm.
Prempeh was
I can't see it. Can someone copy and paste it into the group chat?
okay. You can't see it. Oh, you're not
I,
seeing the screen.
yeah, no, my phone's bugging still.
Okay.
Let me see if I can get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's saying Prempeh was a coward. I'm not saying what he actually wrote, but I understand he wanted the British to let him back home. But it's still a good book. So the history of Ashanti kings and the whole country itself is a good book.
Okay.
In
Thanks for that
his view,
recommendation, Owusu.
say again.
I was saying thanks to Owusu for that book recommendation.
Yes, and then saying that Kwame Nkrumah was a good man, but he divided the Asante Empire. That's an interesting point. I'd love to know more about.
Yeah, that's a hot take.
Yeah, I'm pleased.
Apparently, he split between the Bono region and Asante region, and yeah. Okay, so he was Enzema. That's what Kwame Nkrumah was,
Oh, okay.
What's
and,
Enzema?
and they were a part of the Asante Empire.
Oh, okay.
So they were called the Nzema Kotoko, or same as the Asante Kotoko.
That's Lydia.
Okay.
Okay, so he was installed then.
No, because Lydia said something different. She said it came
Yeah.
from a completely different area. Yeah, these are the complications that they're talking about.
As well, that was involved in a chemistry, like the Ashanti people in Ivory Coast were led by the warrior queen. Okay.
So yeah, that point about Yaa Asantewaa was great, but that was the norm in Akan history. The Asante people in Ivory Coast, like Nate was saying, were led by a warrior queen.
Do you know her name?
Yes, what's her name? What's the one in Ivory Coast? What's her name? And actually, bear this all in mind. Yeah, this is what I always like to bear in mind. Ivory Coast and Ghana does not exist during these times. So
Yeah,
Yaa
all
Asantewaa
one
has
place,
no
isn't
knowledge
it?
or understanding of what this means. Like she does not know Ghana. The Akan people do not know Ivory Coast nor Ghana. They don't have
Facts.
a clue about it.
It's true.
They
Mm.
about their kingdom, their nation,
And other people.
and the other nations exist around them. They don't know about no Ghana and Ivory Coast. This comes several decades after they're gone,
Right.
or generations after they're gone, long gone.
What is the bit that you want to with this?
The book.
Okay.
Um, what other thing? Yeah, for people that capture it, Magdalene Hall. Okay, another recommendation: The Fall of the Asante Empire. Essays on the Akan and the Asante, Ivor Wilkes. The Asante Empire, Carol Thompson. Yeah. So and then the last point, the Nzima was a coastal people who was linked to the Asante It's a different area, but the Asante Empire once covered all of Ghana and parts of Ivory Coast. Interesting. Lydia did make the point also when the Asante, so how it would work is that the Asante would take over. So say, for example, the Asante would go to another area, dominate, take that. Now those people are now Asante.
Sounds like it. Sounds like they did a Shaka Zulu.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it reminded me of as well. Yeah.
But because of that nature, made them so difficult to defeat.
Strength in numbers, right?
Strength in numbers, they were difficult to defeat, and their energy was made them an indomitable spirit.
It did, but I mean, as even Lydia said, it's like every group has its faults. So she was like, we can't say that the Asante were perfect or best. We have to acknowledge that there was mistakes. She said. So going around dominating other groups is not like, it's difficult anyway.
It's difficult because I was watching something, basically West Africa, like our real fall comes after the Songhai Empire falls. And the Songhai Empire had like a massive part of West Africa. Like from Algeria, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, all the way down to Nigeria and the Guinea coast. That was the Songhai Empire. It was huge. But once they fell due to the Moroccans, who were support like Regine and Shakara, and Shakara was like, they were funded by the Spanish and the British. So those forces came to play Songhai Falls, and that basically makes it easier for stuff like the transatlantic enslavement of people, and then the because you have one block that is as powerful and united. Fragments that are just fighting against each other now.
Yeah.
And what you're saying about the saying that they knew that once they take that, the Songhai, they knew that was it. They have control.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. So they were seeking something from the again similar with the golden stool, like what that represents. Like some people say, oh, they didn't have a clue what they were asking for. They didn't understand the culture and such and such. Well, I disagree with that. I'm like they did know, and the reason why they wanted to take it is because they did know. Or when they're saying, "I want to sit on it," it's like I want to sit on top of you.
Yeah.
So it's like Cecil Rhodes is very right on top of all of the chiefs in I think it's way, and it's that they know what that represents and what that means. So they have to be on. So the golden stool, the same thing, but in Songhai,
psychological warfare.
It's psychological warfare and spiritual.
And spiritual, 100%.
And the Songhai had something, so they had a lot of gold, as we know. Like West Africa's got abundance of gold. Had done like Ghana, the original Ghana, that was like so much gold. Like pets had gold colors. Like our pets would have gold colors if we were back in our time. Yeah, and but basically Mali, we know about Mosiah, his wealth was indescribable. Then you have Songhai that had that gold inherited. The Moroccans wanted the gold and they wanted the power that they saw came from the divine, because each of those empires had that wealth and abundance that was connected to the divine. So they saw it, and they failed. They couldn't find it. I don't know what it was, but maybe the Europeans find it. That's my concern.
Wow.
But they couldn't find the golden stool.
And they can't lift up the sword.
I can't lift the sword out.
But yeah. Should we leave it there, everyone?
Yeah, I think so. Unless anyone has anything to add.
No, thank you.
See you on a Sunday.
Yeah, I've got to get right in.
We'll see you on Sunday. We'll see you on Sunday for sure. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, bring your poems. Bring your poems about Yaa Asantewaa, the incredible. I do have one thing to add. Earlier I was saying about Wallace collection. The Wallace collection is in West Central London near Marylebone, and the Shanties gold, there's several artifacts there worth going to have a look at. So
Wow, is that true?
yeah,
What?
me and Nat are gonna go tomorrow for sure because we were
I'm
meant to.
gonna go tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean it looks amazing. I'll send you the link to some of the stuff. If you don't
Put it
get
in
to
the
Yes,
script.
please.
you see
The
it.
WhatsApp group.
But yeah, yeah. So these things they still have in their these collections. They still have these private collections of our things. You know.
After they looted.
Yeah. So, but do good. Like we should go and have a look and see that warrior energy because there's like machetes there. There's like all of their, you know, when you mentioned the gold skull, I was thinking about one image that I saw in there, but I don't think it's I don't think it's. But
Yeah,
yeah,
send it to me, please. I would love to go and check that out.
okay, I'll send it now. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
thank you everyone. Thank you so much
Ah,
for your time and energy. For those watching later on, we give thanks for your company and
Yeah.
we look forward to seeing you next month. Have we got an announcement, Nate?
A what? Have I got an
Yeah,
announcement?
yeah, do you know who's next? Because normally,
Oh, we're announcing who's next. Next person. Yes, yes. Oh, my flyers haven't arrived yet. Oh no. Oh, I think my flyers are due to arrive tomorrow, actually. So I'm
uh,
cutting it fine.
you have to find out on Sunday. Then everyone, you
I'm
can't.
cutting it fine. No, I can tell you who it is. I can
Oh,
tell
you
you
can
who it
say.
is.
Okay, go on then.
Yeah, next person we're going to be studying is Dedan Kimathi, who was leader of the Mau Mau Rebellion.
we.
Hey.
Yeah, that's gonna be
Yeah, in
interesting.
Kenya.
Mm.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. We're doing a little bit of Kenyan history, a little bit of Kenyan revolution, a little bit of Mau Mau.
Lots of literature on that as well to get through.
Yeah, mum. So
Mm,
I'm excited for that one.
yes.
But yeah, I just realised I don't have my flyers. They're coming tomorrow and the event's on Sunday. So that is proper cutting it fine.
If they come tomorrow, that's all good. But yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, give thanks. Okay, right. Basically, to the point. Also, you've been the MVP of the like. Please, this is the kind of energy you want. So, the Asante was the most diplomatic state in West Africa. Research in 1890. The Asante King tried to make an alliance with other West African states. So I guess it was like we've all got to be one by peace or by force.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Try to make alliances with
So
other
he was
West
a Pan
African
African
states.
himself, yeah. So the Ashanti Empire and original Pan Africans, yeah. So I was like,
That's an interesting thing, right? Unity by what? Peace or by force? Or not at all?
Yeah, it is interesting. But the thing is, it's like every perspective counts, isn't it? Learning about the Fanti would be a whole different perspective of everything.
mm,
So it's just
absolutely.
so
Well,
deep.
you know, it reminds me of. Have you not seen the film Hero with Jet Li?
Yeah.
Nah,
Nate, you
don't
see
over it.
Yes.
that film is just so dope, yeah. And basically, it's Jet Li, his character is an assassin, and he's trying to take out the king because the king is bad. The king keeps going around dominating other groups, and then on his journey, he basically realized what the king actually wanted to do, and that was to bring peace by making everyone one. But on the road to that is
War.
war, and people ain't gonna like it, especially if they see them independent.
Mm.
And you're saying that's what the Asante were on.
That's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting from what
Mm.
also put there, saying they're diplomatic and they actually they were a spiritual people, literally led by queen mothers
Mm.
and council. They
Yeah.
need peace to stay rich and keep trade routes on and open for the
Yeah.
south. So it's logical.
They expanded quite quickly, especially after they defeated the Denchira. They expanded, and that is, I guess, where that's coming from.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing that the Europe were supplying weapons to support that expansion as well, and not just with the Ashanti, but with like others as well. But they were supplying weapons to help them expand that little bit.
Right.
Yeah, or it might have been with the no, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Ashanti still, but this is like at the beginning earlier to help them with their expansion, to help them to grow, because obviously a lot of it was war. I see Owusu saying that there was diplomacy involved as well.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking back to cracks. Sounds weird. Can you guys hear that?
No, I can't. Yeah, I can't hear you.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello? Can you guys hear me?
yeah, much
So I
better.
was thinking back to the fact that they used West Indian troops to help fight the Asante. And just thinking of the timeline from when our people were first captured and enslaved and brought to the Caribbean. That the years in between that wasn't that long. I can only think like it might have been their great grandparents who were there trying to stuff back home. Oh,
Wow,
yeah, it's the noises back.
that is diabolical. That is absolutely insane. That is wow. That is such a perspective, Yams.
Yeah, there was better
Yeah,
interruption.
we missed it
We missed it.
completely.
Can you say it again,
Yeah,
Yems?
I heard that interference too. I would say, the fact that they used West Indian troops to come and fight the Ashanti in one of the wars, and the
Mm,
fact that slavery was happening, they had only a few years, maybe not even a generation prior, captured some of the Asante people and enslaved them and brought them to the Caribbean. Only to then bringing them back. I'm just thinking to myself, like, it would only have been their grandparents potentially that would have been brought there and trying to figure out how to get home, fighting to get back, and then their grandchildren were brought back and did it with, oh gosh, I'm home, we're back, let's run, let's find our family. Like, they had
mm,
actually brought Indian troops there. I mean, obviously not everybody was from Ghana. So I mean,
Mm.
maybe they strategically didn't bring the Ghanaian troops
mm,
from
Maybe
West
by that
Indies.
third generation, they've been pretty broken.
mm.
I mean, if you look at third generation
But how many
Caribbeans in the
years?
UK,
How many years? What year did the slave trade begin again?
1400s. Like,
And
course.
what years did the Anglo-Ashanti Wars begin?
That's 1900. It's right. The slavery's done, gone, finished.
But the slave trade was still
no,
happening.
that's the
No,
last Anglo
like
Ashanti war though.
it's
The
not
first
supposed to
one,
be.
Sorry,
1823.
1823.
First
Slave
one,
trade,
yeah.
the British are meant to have stopped slave trading at that time.
Yeah, but one from the research that I've done, it was still happening because there was even that beef around the slave cut the coast and the forts around Amina Castle, Cape Coast, about who's going to be
Yeah.
in control of those forts and what's happening there.
Yeah,
So
I mean, like when you look at the continent itself, I know that in Freetown, slavery was going on until 1927, and that was under British rule.
really,
But as far as the British was concerned, in terms of the Caribbean and Americas, it was supposed to have been abolished.
well, they abolished the slave trade, but they didn't abolish slavery.
No, they
Didn't
abolished slavery in what was it 1836, I think.
okay.
So by Yaa Asantewaa, there shouldn't be slavery. But
Mm.
itself, like we know that I know for sure Freetown they were allowing slavery to go on.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just thinking about the gap, the years in between the slave trade and then bringing the troops back to come and fight. And I was thinking, like, you guys are home. Do you realize you've come back home? Like,
It's crazy
It's
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
But the indoctrination of the mind,
by that point.
by
Yeah.
that point, like if you're
If
similar
you're a
to that now,
soldier,
like if you're growing up here, you might identify
Something.
being British over and above being African. So if you're a soldier for the British Army, you
yeah,
represent Britain. Like you're not
yeah.
black Like,
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, man. This is what I'm saying. Look at
Before,
third generation Caribbeans in the UK, or
Yeah,
third generation
already.
African Americans. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? So it's standard on it. They're like, I am an American. That's who I am. You know,
yeah, that's true.
and it's
that's
even
how they
like
feel.
by force at that time. You know, it's not like you had people conscripted and forced,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
like literally. So yeah,
yeah.
kind of horrific to think of that, really.
But
Just mad that
Isn't it?
being in the Caribbean in that time, knowing that you're African, and then going to Africa to fight Africans. Do you get me?
Mm.
Because they obviously they've got other people from different parts of Africa to fight for them as well against the Asante.
That's the
As
thing.
well.
That's what I'm saying. Though. Did well, I mean, I would presume that they knew, but did they know? Because obviously that was stripped from us at some point.
it was
Mm,
You know,
stripped. Like,
that knowledge that we're African. For
they,
some people who were born into slavery, they were just born. They weren't allowed to read. They weren't allowed to learn. They weren't allowed to. You know what I'm saying? It was just that's it. You're
And
here.
Africa was the
Don't worry
dark
about that.
continent.
You never
mm,
even need to think about Africa.
no.
mm, mm,
And that was literally a case for even the ones that did go back, like Liberians.
mm,
Liberians, the ones that came back, right? But
mm,
they see themselves as the same as those that were already on the land or didn't leave
yeah,
it.
You
See
had,
themselves different. So the
yeah,
hierarchy, like we're the better type of black because we're American.
yeah,
yeah,
Or even like Rios in Sierra Leone, it's that similar sort of thing. Like we are the better ones because we came back with basically we came back with European civilization. So we're better than the rest of you. So
mm,
think how if you're a soldier representing these nations, how you're gonna be mentally. It's all a mind thing, isn't it?
yeah,
And those would have been the mindset of like who the equivalent of Garvey of that time are talking to.
mm,
They're the ones who are awakening at that time, innit?
yeah.
Mm.
Awakening those minds.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
Think about it. Yaa Asantewaa, and the good thing about what we're doing is like you get to see certain times of crossovers because Yaa Asantewaa is a time after Harriet Tubman, right? But it's
Nate
back
would
time.
date, so he will know.
Hmm?
Say again.
Wow.
Nate is good with dates, so he should know.
Me, I'm good with dates.
Yeah, so he was asking Yaa Asantewaa, is she after Harriet Tubman?
No, he was saying that she is after Harriet Tubman,
Yeah, so
right? Nat?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Like they're alive at
yeah.
the
Nat
same
knows,
time.
man.
They're alive at the same time,
Mm,
but in terms of like Yaa Asantewaa's 1900 moment, that landmark moment, that's after
mm,
Harriet Tubman is done her thing. Harriet Tubman kind of like I think she's already serving,
okay.
and you have Booker T. Washington. He's in his prime around that time.
Right. Imagine all that happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy time to be alive as a black person, boy.
yeah. 19 Booker T. Remember,
Yeah.
Yeah.
they set up the Pan African Conference in
It'd be
London,
Mm.
like
Manchester.
a spider map of all the dates of all of the things that were happening to kind of see how they
Mm,
overlap because energetically what was going on during that time because it's not like this now. Obviously we've got loads of different like revolutionaries popping up, on the continent and in the Caribbean, but that era of history
mm,
very potent for
mm.
rebellion and revolutionary actions and stuff like that. And just it'd be nice to just do like a timeline overlap, see
I've
what
been
was going
speaking
on.
to Salome about doing that. With regards to like planetary transits, I want to
Yeah.
do it with Neptune transits in particular. I want to see like if every time Neptune changes sign, like what era is that, and who's in that bracket of
Mm,
Neptune in Aries, who's in that bracket of Neptune in Taurus, who's in that bracket of Neptune in Gemini. Do you know what I'm saying? And see like what
when that time's
kind of
going to come around
correlation
again
there
because
is.
that period
Yeah, that would be. I feel like Dr. Uma did said something about that actually.
is it?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna send
what
it.
we're going into.
Yeah, because he was talking about Nat Turner specifically, what happened around that time and what happened. I feel he said, but I don't know.
Yeah, so we're entering. Last time was
You guys' microphone keeps cutting out.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it?
Mm.
Okay.
It does go quiet, but I can still hear it. I can still hear it. It sounds like you're just talking quieter to me.
Oh,
Maybe unplug the
the
charger.
charger maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But what I was gonna say, like Ida B. Wells, yeah, her time as well was around a similar time. And what's interesting, what's really interesting is that remember, I can't remember the year now, but one of her time when she was like, she came to England and she was exposing how horrific the Americans were
Mm.
with the lynching.
Mm-hmm.
But then the British are doing what they're doing in Africa
Mm.
Mm.
at the same or similar time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
why.
Well, she might not have known that as well. That's the thing. Because the even though like we had like Garvey was able to transmit information, across, like, we didn't have an African stream reporting to all of the diaspora what's going on in different parts of the world. So she probably would have had no idea about Yaa Asantewaa, what's going on in the Anglo-Ashanti wars. That she probably had no idea what's going on while she was in Britain, telling the British X, Y, and Z about America. How would she
Do you
know?
know what? A part of me wonders if they would report it in the newspapers though, because the Anglo-Ashanti wars were over such a long period of time,
Yeah.
right? I wonder if there would have been like a newspaper saying, "Oh, General McCarthy defeats Yaa
Mm,
Asantewaa," not Yaa
no,
Asantewaa, but King Prempeh or whatever,
good,
Like, I
good
wonder
point.
if there would have been like a news report about it, or if they would have made it a big deal, or there would have been like people who were following the war. Do you know what I mean? Or
That
there would have
might be
been
in the British
an
Library.
industry behind that. So say again.
The news articles from that time may be in the British Library.
Right.
Ooh,
Yeah, it should
yeah.
be.
Yeah. That would be good to explore.
But it's going to be propaganda and bias.
But you
Still,
can
Yeah,
read
of
it. It's
course.
still good to get a picture of what they were saying, even if it's.
yes.
Yeah.
And you might be
And,
surprised what it said.
and
Yeah.
if it was in the papers, then and IW was there, she may have come across it for sure.
It may have, yeah.
Isn't there? There's a website now, internetarchive.org, I think it is,
But they have newspaper articles in there as well.
where you can find newspaper articles and stuff.
I
Yeah.
don't know the newspaper articles on there. I normally just read books on there and
hmm
articles.
There are all sorts on there.
Mm.
It's just interesting the dynamics though, right? Like how, around the time it's just like Garvey's obviously like 13, so he's not in the picture yet around
Mm.
this time. But Booker T and Ida B. Wells are.
Yeah.
And W. Du Bois, they are like they're grown.
Yeah.
And whoever that we've come.
Frederick Douglass.
Frederick Douglass, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Okay, so I'm gonna cut the cord, guys. I'm gonna cut the umbilical cord.
Mm.
Yeah, so we can be fresh face for tomorrow. I'm sure we've all got amazing things to be getting on with. So it's been a pleasure as always.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Yeah.
go
Likewise.
come
Give
through
thanks, everyone.
one
Appreciate
sec.
you all.
Take care. Yes.
Yeah, come through the one section, and then obviously Auntie Jean's on Sunday.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah, man.
Night,
All
guys.
right. Bye.
Bye.
Alright, peace. This has been Revolutionary Minds, Out of Noise, Kimbunga Media, Nate the Lyricist, Blue Lotus.
Stella B and Nat 9.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Till now.